Hello, my name is Carrie Locke. This is CS115, Introduction to Computers, and we are on Chapter 4, Programs and Apps, Using Software at Work, School, and Home. Your book is very cool. It's shortened applications to apps. I am here over a beautiful sunset, floating high above a beautiful sunset. We have some great things in store for you for Chapter 4. All right, so let's begin. If I can get to my other screen. Okay. Nope. Let me go back. And we have lovely music in the background from my clock. So, for an overview of what we're going to be covering, this is week 5. We're going to split this one up because I have some exciting things to show you, and you have a pretty cool project. So this week we're going to cover, of course, housekeeping, programs and apps, productivity applications, graphics and media applications, and then we're going to go over the assignment for this week, the assignment slash project for this week. So to create what I do here for you, I use Google Slides, and I use the free slides that are available from Slides Carnival. I use the OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, to create the video, and Zoom allows me to do the green screen effect, which allows me to float above you here. And then soon I'll be creating some doodly for you, so that it's not just this boring slideshow. All right, housekeeping. So the content will be presented at the beginning of the week. Any quizzes or testing will be on Fridays. So last Friday you had a quiz, and some people apparently were not able to take the quiz at the time that I had scheduled. So I'll be offering a second chance at a 10% discounted rate. So the second chance quiz will be offered with a 10% reduction in the score. And then for all the quizzes and tests for this course, there will be at an assigned time, and they'll all be given a time limit. And the reason that I've done that is because that's the most fair for everybody. It's just what I've decided that's the most fair for everybody. What I will do is I will try to find a time that works best for the majority of the class. If you cannot take the quiz at the time that I've posted, contact me personally prior to the quiz, and we'll see if we can work something out. If you have a reasonable reason for not being able to take the quiz at the assigned time, let me know. I'll work with you. So it's just best if we work it this way. So assignments and projects will be due at the end of the week. Generally on Friday. I like to make them due on Friday so that you guys can enjoy your weekends. If it's a difficult project, or if it's a short week like this week, then I'll make it due on Saturday. Any changes will be announced through Web Campus. That way it'll be distributed to your Rebel Mail. So as for assignments, let's recap on those. The grades for the discussion and Discord assignments have been posted. Everybody did really well on those, so I don't see any problems with those. The plain text and HTML assignments, those take longer to grade. Those should be up soon. And again, from what I see, everybody's doing really well on those also. Cloud storage and document editor, everybody seems to be doing well on those from what I can see. There was a sync question that many people had. So let me see if I can exit out of this. And let's go to, let me, I didn't have it open. I meant to have it open. Let me show you that next week so that I have it already prepared and ready to go for you. So programs and applications. A program, also called software, is a series of related instructions organized for a common purpose that tells the computer what tasks to perform and how to perform them. This is probably the third time that you've gotten this definition. Anytime you see something multiple times in this course, you are guaranteed that it will be on the test. If you hear something 2 or 3 times, I promise you that that item will be on the test. There will be other items, but I promise you that that will definitely be on a quiz or a test. So an application, also called an app or application software, or a software application, is defined as programs designed to make users more productive and or assist them with personal tasks. So each one of these that we're going through, notice that they have the word programs in them. So these are all subsets of programs. The next one is operating system, which is a set of programs that coordinates all the activities among a computer or mobile device hardware. So it's basically the traffic cop for all between the programs, the user programs, and the computer hardware. So tools or utilities is defined as programs that perform maintenance type tasks, and they're usually related to managing devices, media, or other programs used by the computer. The table in your book, table 4.1, gives a really good list of the different programs and the applications defined by type. An operating system. Operating system is an interface between the user, the applications, and the computer device's hardware. To use, it uses applications. To use applications, you must be running an operating system. In other words, you can't use applications on a computer if you don't have an operating system or an iOS installed. It's any device, a switch, a computer, any device must have an operating system installed on it. A mobile device must be running an OS to run a mobile application. Desktop operating systems, Mac OS, the Windows OS, and the Linux OS. Mobile OSs are the Android operating system, iOS for iPhones, and the Windows Phone. Software availability. This is a very busy slide. So there's numerous types of software that are available. So retail, custom, web application. Web application is just a traditional browser application. A mobile application, or that's just your traditional app that you get at an app store. Google Play, App Store for iPhone. Mobile web app is an application that is optimized for mobile use. Now, copyright, let's go ahead and define that before we go into this next section. Copyright is defined as it gives authors, artists, and or creators of original work exclusive rights to duplicate, publish, and sell their materials. Copyrights don't necessarily have to be purchased, and they don't necessarily have to be official. So if you create an original work, it is considered copyrighted material. Professors that create notes, those are considered copyrighted material. Professors that create videos for notes, that is considered copyrighted material because that is an original work. Artists that create paintings, They don't have to go and get an official copyright to have that work be considered an original work. Same thing with authors, same thing with computer code. It gets a little bit fuzzy with computer code because two people could be designing the same code or similar code at the same time. So that it gets a little harder to claim it as an original work. So that gets it gets a little bit more difficult when you're talking about computer code. But computer code also is copyrighted the same way an author creating a book would be a copyrighted, automatically copyrighted material. Read your license agreement, read your EULAs. You cannot copy or distribute in any way unless it is explicitly allowed in the end user license agreement, the EULA, or it is a copyright violation and it is a federal crime subject to the federal copyright fines and jail time, et cetera, et cetera. You see that all the time. You see when you rent a video. I don't know if does anybody rent videos anymore. Blockbuster. You used to rent a video and it always had that copyright notification or that federal crime notification on it. So as far as the EULA is concerned, I have seen EULAs because nobody reads the EULA. I have seen EULAs where people have downloaded software, to be specific, a PDF writer. The PDF writer that they downloaded, the EULA specifically stated that if they installed it, that they would be installing malware on their system. We went back after the person was infected with the virus. We went back and we read the EULA, and it specifically stated they would be installing multiple different types of malware, multiple different types of Trojans, multiple different types of tracking software. And they listed them all out right there in the EULA. Because nobody ever reads it, why not list it right there in the EULA? And they stated that they wouldn't be liable for any of that malware or any third-party malware that would be installed as a result of them installing this particular software. Beyond that, the website that the person obtained it from, on the website, there was an additional EULA that stated that by using the website that they would be obtaining malware. Again, since nobody reads it, why not put it on there? Which we were floored. I mean, we were absolutely flabbergasted that they would blatantly put it out there. But they did, and the individual ended up with a virus from it. So moving on, open source software is provided for use, modification, and redistribution. It has no copyright, modification, or redistribution restriction. Freeware, it is copyrighted. It is provided at no cost to the individual or company, and all rights to the software are retained. I think I merged the next one. I think I didn't put a bullet point for the next one. Public domain software is donated for public use. So the next one is actually a bullet point. Public domain software is donated for public use, and it has no copyright restrictions. Anyone can copy or distribute public domain software to others at no cost. So one of the things I'd like to say about public domain software is oftentimes when you upload a video to YouTube, they will automatically upload it as public domain software. So take note when you're uploading a video to YouTube, that this public domain or open source or freeware, this may come into play if you're posting something on the web, public domain specifically when uploading a video to YouTube. You may not want your content to be free to everybody in the world. So just a note there. A couple other things on this slide that are important: software registration and product activation. Now, I know that we're familiar with these, most likely familiar with these, but let's go ahead and review them anyway. Software registration is when you submit your name and other personal information to the software manufacturer or developer. You generally do this to obtain product support. Product activation is when you activate a product to ensure that you do not, it ensures that you do not install the software on more computers that are legally licensed, and that you only run it on X number, or that you only run it X number of times. And it can also limit the functionality. Oftentimes nowadays, they're merging these two. So you register and activate the product simultaneously, and they won't work without. They may not work without a registration. Therefore, that is also your product activation. Productivity applications. So this is where I have some fun stuff planned. Productivity applications are application software that allows one to become more effective and efficient at work, home, and school. They are applications such as word processing, presentation applications, spreadsheets, databases. I'm not going to cover those too much because we will cover those in a later chapter. The book separated out a document management application, but a document management application actually falls under a database. It is a database. Calendar and contact management, project management. Project management is very popular within businesses. It's becoming more and more popular. There are web software that does this. I can't think of the name of it right now. There's a Microsoft one that has become very, very popular. Very popular. It helps with the workflow. It helps to know where the task is, where a project task is, and who's doing what. It helps to set milestones. It helps to keep projects moving, and it helps with accountability, team accountability. They're very, very good. If you're working with a team even in school, if you're working with a team, project management software may be a good idea. Accounting software. I know the name of it, but I'll think of it. Personal finance, legal documentation, wills. You can even get divorce documentation, custody documentation. You can get all sorts of legal documentation. It gives you the formatting. It gives you a template for what you need to do, name changes, all that sort of stuff. Any sort of legal documentations, how to file, gives you the information on how to file. You can find your local courts legal documentation. Most local courts have their own assistance in that area, so you can get your legal docs online and then work with your local courts to see how exactly to file that paperwork. Tax preparation, TurboTax. TurboTax is one of the most popular for that. Support services, retail, reference, travel. Those are basically the same as what we've already gone over. Enterprise computing. This is large organizations. This is special purpose software for human resources, marketing, engineering, architecture, sales, customer service, etc. A lot of these are custom designed specifically for the enterprise. Hundreds of thousands of dollars is this software. 500,000, million, very, very expensive software. Some of it, not so much. Some of it is, engineering software. I see a lot of the engineering software, SolidWorks, ANSYS, just to name a couple, and very special purpose. Architecture software, again, industry standard software, so that if you're working on something, you can easily transfer it to other companies and work with other companies on it, and do proposals, all that sort of, all that good stuff. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to switch screens now, and I'm going to show you some of this software. Okay, you can see it now. I can't see it. Let me see, where is it? Okay, so we have something simple. Oh, not that one yet. So we have something simple. Here's just a simple text editor. This one is a very simple text editor. Now this text editor is a little bit special in that you see here you have language. So if I wanted to do C++, it has the encoding for C++. Include, it's hard for me to see this on my screen. And see it automatically. It automatically comes up. Int main should come up with main. So, and see how it colored that there. And then if I have a curly bracket here, curly bracket there. So it turns red. It matches the one up here. So it'll automatically color code the text for special purposes. So this Notepad++ is a very, very simple version of a text editor, which is a very simple text editor, just like your Microsoft Office Word text editor or your Google Docs, which we've already used. And you can use it for that, or if you wanted to, you can use it for coding. And it's got the different languages right here. So that's that one. And then I wanted to show you, let me minimize that one, because we already did that one. I want to show you this one. So here we have, do you remember the assignment that I gave you where I had you do the HTML code? So here, you can do it. Now I want to increase the size there. I did that kind of backwards, but now here, do you remember that I said that it wasn't quite, if you put that through W3C, which is the worldwide consortium, and tested that code, it wouldn't quite be up to par. So here you can see here I just type it in normal, or if I want to, I can bold it. I can take and I can italicize my name. I can underline name. I can do all the things that I can do with a regular text editor here. But the really cool thing here is I can switch over to source. And here you can see I have all of my tags. So remember, these are HTML tags. So here, this is a body tag. And then I'm trying to find one. Okay, so italic. So this sets the italic tag, and this sets the font tag right here, and that ends the font tag. And then where's my bold? What did I bold? Go back over here to normal. Oh, I bolded the whole thing. Let me do something more simple. Bold. Let me just do this. Control Z, and then bold this one. Okay, so now if I switch over here to HTML source, I should see, there we go, bold. And then the word bold, which I typed in. And then, where's my end bold? Well, it didn't end the bold. But anyway, you get the point. So this is one of the main things that you guys were missing, is right here. This sets your, defines your, it's not letting me highlight it. It defines your document as HTML. See right here, it says HTML 4.0. So it defines your document. This, if, in case you are wondering, this is something called SeaMonkey. And then if you go to, when you open up SeaMonkey, you need to go to the top, and then you right click on it under Window, and you click on Composer. Okay, and that's how you open up this. And this is pretty neat. You can create an HTML document, HTML really quick. So I could save this and open it up in a browser, but you're gonna have to trust me because we got a lot of other stuff to do today. All right, so let me minimize that one. Now I want to show you a spreadsheet. Now this is just Microsoft Excel. Okay, and in a spreadsheet, you just enter, sorry about that, dropped my pen. In a spreadsheet, you just enter columns, and then rows of data. These are really good for correlating information. So say I have a class list, and I have names, and then I have student ID numbers, and then first names, last names, student ID numbers, Discord assignment grade, the HTML grade, HTML assignment grade. I have all your different grades listed here, and then I can easily highlight them, and then I can sum them under formulas, and then I just click auto sum. So you can do all sorts of mathematical equations. You can correlate the data here. You can do all sorts of neat stuff with spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are fun. I'm 80% sure we're going to have a spreadsheet assignment. So you can create additional sheets, and then you can relate the different data on the sheets. So I could relate spreadsheet to sheet 2. I could relate the entire column A to column A in sheet 2. Say I had a list of student names. So say this was, instead of spreadsheet, this was first name. I can't type. And then this was, apparently the size is different. So this, what size is this? 18. 18, enter. First name, last name. In sheet 2, I can relate those. So I can actually make column A and in sheet 1, and then sheet 2, I can make the same. I can make column A and column B the same as sheet 1. Something like that is really useful if the data in sheet 2 needs to be the same as sheet 1. That way, if somebody changes something, so say somebody got married and they would change their name, then you only have to, instead of changing it in all the following sheets, you would only have to change it in sheet 1. Stuff like that can be really, really advantageous. It can be very advantageous, I promise you. I've done it many times. Spreadsheets can get very, very large. So as long as we're talking about that, let's move right into databases. I'm not going to cover too much of this because, as I said, we're going to go over this in a later chapter. Databases, where spreadsheets lack, databases really come in handy. So as I said, you can relate the fields in spreadsheets. Databases do exactly that. So in a database, you have tables. So think of tables similar to spreadsheets, only you create fields and records. So you would have, say, first of all, you have to have a unique ID for everything, and then you would have employees in this table. So employees would be first name, last name, and then maybe you want pay, this is all their information, how much they make, their phone number, their address. I just put gobbledygook in there. Their phone number, their address, their date of hire maybe. And this would be one table. And then maybe another table would be their job descriptions. And you would have a table of job descriptions, and then you could cross-link the two tables so that the employees are cross-linked with the table of jobs. Now, you would want to do something like this because employees change jobs all the time, but they don't change names quite as often. But you don't want, you want that data to be independent of each other, but you still want it to be linked to each other. So there's all sorts of reasons why you want to keep records independent, but you want to have that information linked to each other, and most important, you want to have it searchable, and that is vital. So as I said, we cover databases more in depth later, and if possible, we'll do an assignment on those. Publishers are really awesome, and some people use these really, really effectively and often. Publishers allow you to do all sorts of things, anything to do with publishing, anything you can think of with publishing. Creating cards, it always comes to mind for me with publishing. Creating anything, booklets, brochures, anything you can think of with publishing. And these applications are specifically designed so that you can create publishing effectively and efficiently. As you can see here, this is a card, and that way when it prints, it'll fold properly, because trying to do this on Microsoft Word is a lot more tedious. Trying to get all of this stuff in the right place. You can do it. You can do it with the pictures, but trying to position them properly so that when everything folds, it's going to fold properly is a lot more difficult than doing it on a publishing application. This one, by the way, is Microsoft Publisher. And then this one, not now. This one, can't show you my different email messages, but this one is an email client. So you can see here, this is our class. And you can see here I have a special folder just for the class, so that everything gets filtered into that folder, because as you can see, I have 200 unread messages in my inbox, and it'll get lost if it goes into my inbox. But here, the great thing about an email client is that you can have multiple emails. I have my work email, my personal Gmail account, and a secondary work email, which I use for vendors, right here all in one. And this one actually is pretty limited. Usually I have about 6 different email accounts running all in one. If you work with your iPhone or your Android, they can do the same thing, where you have multiple email accounts that can dump email That's the technical term. They can distribute email to your phone, or you can do the same thing with an email application. So that's what I wanted to show you there. There are other things here. So this is, I am, just so you know, I'm using an application. I'm using two applications to show you this. I'm using the University VPN, which is an application, in order to create a secure tunnel, a secure network tunnel, which is a pretty good way to say that, to get to my work computer, which is a Windows computer, which, by the way, you just saw that I'm on a Mac. And I'm using a Microsoft Remote Desktop application on my Mac in order to connect to my work computer. So that's pretty cool. Hope you guys were able to see all that. All right, so back to the slides. All right. So we got to demonstrate quite a few of those. Word processor, presentation we're demonstrating right now, spreadsheet, database, calendar, project management wasn't able to display. Okay. Graphics and media applications. Graphics and media applications. Any application used to work with graphics, photos, videos, audio, multimedia files, or CAD files, computer-aided design. CAD programs, 3D design software used by scientists, architects, engineers, etc., to create, design, and test three-dimensional scientific models. There are quite a few of these out there. Remember, I mentioned the enterprise software. I think this would fall under that category. These are used to stress test bridges before they build them or after they build them. They create these models and then they stress test. They use CAD software for all sorts of things. How much stress a foot undergoes. They use these in the medical field to test things. CAD programs are very, very important to us. We have no idea the vast things that are done with these programs and how much our everyday living relies on the reliability of these programs and the efficiency of these programs. I see that the work that's done on these programs is pretty amazing, and that's just in engineering. That's not even in some medical, but I don't see all of the medical, and I don't see a lot of the medical, and I don't see the architecture. So I just see engineering, and it's amazing what they do with the CAD programs with engineering. They're pretty awesome. Expensive, very, very expensive programs, very, very proprietary. The licenses are very strict on those programs. Desktop publishing, I showed you that in the last one. Paint and image editing. Microsoft Paint is probably, if you have Microsoft, you have Microsoft Paint. Adobe is another very, very popular one for that. Adobe is very expensive. It is a fun program if you've ever had a chance to explore that program. Image editing, you can get all sorts of apps. You can download apps at the App Store to do image editing. Photo editing, photo management, same thing. You can download software at any App Store, at Google Play, to do photo editing. Those have become very popular and readily available. Clip art, image gallery. Be careful with those. Be careful with clip art, because a lot of clip art is is licensed and it is a paid product. And if you put it out there, then you can get a license violation for that. Video and audio editing. I'm using that now. OBS, Open Broadcasting software, is video and audio editing software. Excuse me, multimedia and website authoring. I showed you that with SeaMonkey. I showed you one. There are other ones. Dreamweaver was a popular one for a long time. They change. They change as the times change, as the coding changes, as the media changes. Media players are often included with your operating system. Now, they didn't used to be. You used to have to pay for those separately. If you want a more feature-rich media player, then you generally have to purchase one, but a basic media player is included with your operating system. Disk burner, again, included with your operating system. If you want a more feature-rich disk burner, it burns disks and burns files, burns ISOs, which are mountable image files. Okay, moving on. Now we get to the sound. Now we get to fun. So I'm going to go over the steps. I'm just going to read through the steps, and then we're going to go through them. So you need to download and install VirtualBox from the link that's provided there. The VirtualBox platform packages. You're going to need to select your operating system. You're going to need to download and install VirtualBox, the extension pack, which is also called Guest Editions. And then you download that from the link that I provided. And I gave you the name of the extension pack. Now, that is the Mac name. I'm assuming that the Windows name is the same. We can look. I have the Windows right here. Click on all supported platforms, and then it doesn't matter. So the operating system there should not matter. So the name should be the same. So download and install Kali Linux. So Kali Linux automatically provides the OVA images. The OVA images are the images that we want for VirtualBox. For your reference, that's the Kali Linux website. And then the Kali Linux virtual images downloads are at that link. And then you remember to click the plus on there. If you don't click the plus, you're going to get the wrong images. You're going to get the VMware images, not the VirtualBox images. So click the plus on that. And then select, once you install those, you're going to need to select the Kali Linux VirtualBox 64-bit OVA, and then double click click on that in order to obtain the images. And then once installed, you're going to want to double click on that file name, which is the Kali Linux 2020.4 VBox AMD64.OVA. When you double click on that, it's going to automatically open up if everything's done correctly, it's going to automatically open up a Linux inside of VirtualBox. Now you're going to have to accept a couple of things to allow your clipboard and to allow your mouse. Make sure you read what it says, because otherwise you're going to get your mouse locked in there or your keyboard locked in there, and you're going to get yourself stuck. So make sure you read the escape key, what escape key is used, which actually, since I'm not using a Mac keyboard and I'm remoted into Windows, I'll do that part last if I try installing it on Windows to show you. And the username and password, once you launch it, is Kali for the username and Kali for the password. Okay, so now that we've got all that, we'll go to the next one. So that's next. All right, let me exit out of this. Actually, I didn't do that. Go back to present. Let me go over to my that. I want this one. Perfect. Okay. I might need that again, so I'll minimize that. All right, that does. So I have not installed this on this one, so just so you know. So I want, this is where the link is going to take you. All right. And I want, each should automatically recognize your operating system, and you should just get a big blue button that says download. But if you don't, then this is what you want. Pick your operating system. Okay. So I have a Mac. So I have OS X. And for me, it's automatically downloading down here. See? I have 26 seconds left. I wonder if I can do this on the Windows at the same time. Let's move over to the Windows. All right, let's make this bigger. See if I can do this on both at the same time. It's done downloading, but let's go to Firefox here. Go ahead and minimize that. I'm going to close all these. No. Close anyway. Not the taskbar. Close. Don't save. By the way, if you get a pop-up, close the pop-up from your start bar. Don't click anywhere on the pop-up, because most of the time, anywhere in the window for a pop-up is hot. So don't click on the window. Go down to your start bar, your taskbar, and click on close window. Right click and click on close window. Right click, click on close window. I'm not saving these because I don't need these documents. Okay, so this one, let's go ahead and close. Did I close everything? No. Don't save. All right. So let's do it here too, because it's going to have to download. Oh my gosh, restrict update. Firefox. VirtualBox. VirtualOx. Oh gosh. VirtualBox. All right. So here I'm on Windows. So Windows, save file. I'm just going to save it to, let's save it to downloads. And this is the file name. Okay. Click on save. Still okay. And my progress is here. It's complete already. Wow. Nice. Okay. So install. So just check the defaults. Oh, except You take the defaults. I can't take the defaults because I'm out of space on this drive. I want to go. I can't see it either. Where am I installing to? Browse. Okay. No. Okay, so I can't. If you see the message on here, it says that installing VirtualBox networking feature will reset your network connection and temporarily disconnect you from the network. Proceed with installation now. So if it goes ahead and it installs this, then I'm connected to my machine through the network. So I will completely lose this network connection. So I can't do it. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yeah, I can show you to this far on Windows, but I can't show you. I can't show you. Okay, so click finish button to exit the setup wizard finish, but I can show you the next step on that one. So let's go back to window let's minimize this and let's go back to my Mac. So my Mac has, you can see all my installs. My Mac has it right here. I can click on it. It's going to give me a warning. Macs are a little bit more complicated. I don't know that Windows is going to give you all the same warnings that Macs give you. I don't know that Windows has all the same safety protocols. I have not seen that on Windows. So for a Mac, double click this icon. Allow this package to run. It's determined it's from the internet. It's warning me that it's from the internet. Okay, continue with the install. Installation type, go ahead. I'm taking the defaults on this one. I'm fine. Can't see my password, it's secret. System extension updated. Program has updated the system extension, signed by Oracle. Finish, okay.
It's 5 o'clock.
Installation successful. I'm going to keep that for right now. Run virtual application from the applications folder. And I'll show you here. VirtualBox is here. So now VirtualBox has been installed in my applications folder. VirtualBox is really good about giving you step-by-step instructions, and my user manual is here, and my uninstall tool is here. That is in this chapter too. This chapter goes over uninstall as an application. So now in my system settings, system, where is it? System preferences, security and privacy. Privacy, yep, that's it. Okay, so if I don't allow it access to files and folders. So where is it in here? Okay, it hasn't asked yet. It's going to, just so you know, if you have a Mac, it's going to ask for permission. And you're going to need to go to security and privacy, and then privacy, and you're going to need to allow it access to specific folders or full disk access. I recommend specific folders. Allow it to have access to specific folders. And then things like your camera, if you don't allow access to your camera and your microphone, then the virtual machine won't have access to your camera and microphone. If you don't allow it access to items on your host, and I'm circling this because this is your host, then the machine inside of VirtualBox will not have access to it. So if you have a webcam on your host, my host is my Mac, then, and I don't grant it permission, then it will not have permission inside of the virtual machine. So let me continue so that you understand more what I'm saying. Okay, next step. Next step is to get the extensions. So let's go back to the website. This one, I'm on Chrome on this one. So downloads. Now, if you go back to the downloads, there's this one, the VirtualBox extension pack. All supported platforms. I just clicked on it. 10 seconds left. It's that fast to download. All right, so open. Okay, you can still see my screen. Older version of the extension pack is already installed. Would you like to upgrade? Let's go ahead and upgrade. When did I have an older version? Agreed. That's my password again. Successfully installed. If you do not install that extension pack, the virtual machine will not work properly. Okay? So now we go back to the internet. I'm going to open a new window because otherwise it's going to flip back to the other screen. Okay, now we want to go to Kali Linux. Kali Linux download. And then ARM images. I gave you the direct links to these. You guys don't need to look for them. All right, now I want to go to virtual machine downloads. There's a really nice tutorial in here also. So here's what I mean. On this page here, if you just look here, images, Linux images, you're going to get the wrong one because here it says VMware. It doesn't let me highlight it. So here it says VMware right here. Right here. It's not letting me circle it either. Right here. I'm terrible with this mouse. I'm using it with my right hand. What just happened? Went backwards. Okay. Right here it says VMware. Make sure you click on the one that says VirtualBox. You have to click on this little plus to get it to open up. Okay? And you want this one. Okay, click on that one. It's downloading. 2 hours left. It went from 4 hours to 2 hours to 3 hours. If you can, download these at school because school has a really fast connection. You're going to download them really fast at school versus downloading them at home. You're always going to download them slower. Nowadays, everybody's at home, so if you're at school, download them at school. If you can't download them at school, then download them at home. Okay, while we're waiting for that, let's flip back to the Windows. I wonder if I can install it without networking. Okay, let's go to downloads. Let's go to VirtualBox. Minimize that. Next. I can't make that bigger. Browse. There we go. Okay. All right. I don't need networking for the purposes of this example. Do not do that. Do not disable your networking. It's just for the purposes of this example so that I can get it to. Oh, I'm gonna make that bigger now. I can't read it. I love computers. Okay, so would you like to install this device software? So Windows is popping up a security message the same way that the Mac was popping up. So always trust Oracle Corporation. This is coming directly from Oracle. This is fine. Go ahead and install. It's signed by Oracle. Oracle VirtualBox installation is complete. Finish. So I'm going to do the same thing here on my Windows machine as I did on my Mac. I'm going to go over here to the extension pack. Remember, I did the same thing. I'm going to click on all supported platforms. I'm going to click always save the file to your hard drive. If you open the file instead of saving the file, your antivirus does not have a chance to scan it. Always save the file. I'm going to save the file. I'm going to save it to downloads. This is the name of the file. It is the same name. That's the same name. I can double check that. .1.18. Yeah, that's the same name. It's the same name for Windows and Mac. This is my progress. It's complete. Now I can open it. Okay, it's asking me if I want to install. I agree. By the way, read your EULA. I agree. Failed to install extension pack. Details. Okay. Now, if you read the details, failed to install, I'm not an administrator. I did not run that as administrator. So if you run into this issue, go back to your downloads folder. Where is it? Refresh. Okay. So right click and where is it? Run as administrator. This is really tiny writing. Should be here. Remove access. So I should be able to run this as administrator. If not, then log out and log in as an administrator and then run it. I'm looking for run as administrator, group access. It says they have full control. The reason is what it's trying to do is not allowed to do. So you can lock, sign out. See, because I'm remoted in, I would need to switch user accounts. It's not allowing me to. There are ways to do it. I don't want to take the time to do it that way. I can change the permissions on this. I just don't want to take the time to do it. So I can show you what would happen if you try to use Kali Linux without it. So let me switch back to, I've minimized this one. Let me switch back to the Mac. So now have I downloaded the, oh, this one's still downloading. That's not going to be any fun. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this because that's going to take a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and change account settings, lock, sign out. We're going to go ahead and restart. So I can maybe remote in as a different user on that one. And while we're waiting on this one, that'll also open up some bandwidth because I'm using a lot of bandwidth right now. So let's go back to the slides. Okay. So the last step that we need to do right now, we're downloading the Kali images, the OVA images. And then once we do that, we should only need to double click on this specific file, which is the Kali Linux 2020.4-vbox-amd64.ova, and then enter the username of Kali and password of Kali, and that's going to open up a Linux. It's a Kali Linux inside a VirtualBox, inside of whichever operating system you actually have. Really cool. So your application software is VirtualBox, and you have an operating system running inside a VirtualBox, and that it's a virtual operating system running inside a VirtualBox, and that is running Kali Linux, the Kali Linux operating system. And then inside of that, there's all kinds of really cool tools, which are generally used for security. Hang on to those. We're going to use those later when we get to security. We're going to play around with some of those later. If you do choose to play with any of those tools, make absolutely certain that your network is not going out to the World Wide Web, because those tools, if you are going out to the World Wide Web and using those tools, you can get into a lot of trouble. So be careful with the tools that are off this Linux, that's your word of warning. I'm telling you right now that those tools can be considered malicious if you use them against your neighbor or against any other network, if you use them against the school. So be careful with the tools that are in there, and be careful with the network. Make sure that the network should be by default set not to go out anywhere, but it is ultimately your responsibility, if you play with those tools, to make sure that you are not attacking your neighbor, the school, the FBI, the government, anybody. You cannot attack anybody with those tools. So I have warned you about this. Please do not use those tools against anybody. But please enjoy the tools. They're very, very cool. So poke around with them, play with them. The default setting for the network card should be safe. But again, it's your responsibility ultimately to make sure that you do not attack anybody. That Kali Linux is used, it's widely used as a security tool to test networks, to test for security breaches, for security holes. It's for red team, for red teams and blue teams is what they're called. We'll get into all that later. I'm not going to get into that now because I could talk on that for forever. So let's move on to the next one. What do you actually need to do for this assignment besides all that? How do I know that you did all that? So install it, install VirtualBox, install the extension pack, install Kali Linux, the Kali Linux OVA pack, install Kali Linux OVA inside of VirtualBox. Now, once you've done all the installations and you got everything up and running, create a document inside of Kali Linux. So just right click and it'll say create a document. Once it's all up, I will show you. Inside of the document, type your first name and your last name. On the next line, type the last 4 digits of your NC number. Once you've done all of that, I want you to take a screenshot of Kali Linux with this document inside of it. It should have your last name. Save the screenshot as your last name, your first initial, and the last 4 digits of your NC number. I gave you an example. My name is Lock. My name would be Lock K1234. The screenshot file type should be JPEG or PNG. That's your choice. On Windows, if you select the window, I closed my window, but on Windows, if you select the window, click on the window and hold the Alt and then press the print screen. It should automatically create a print screen for you. You can then, from the clipboard, you can copy that into a Word document, or you should be able to save it right out to a PNG. If you have trouble with that, contact me, meet me at office hours, and I can assist you with that. You then need to upload that screenshot to Web Campus for credit. The screenshot inside of the Kali Linux, please make your font size about 85, so that I can see you. I have to be able to see your last name and your first name and the last 4 of your NC number. If I can't see it, then you can't get credit for it if it's in a tiny font. So you need to be able to increase the font on there, and you should be able to do this now. We've done enough text documents that you should be able to do this. Okay, so let me go back to this one. This video is getting really long. We are almost done. Notes on this assignment. Begin it early. Start it early. Don't wait until the last minute, because if you run into any problems, you're not going to be able to contact me. If you have any issues, contact me. Contact me quickly. Contact me as soon as possible so that I can assist you. I'm here to help you with this. I'm very good at assisting people with this sort of stuff. It's what I do. Send me a detailed error message. You saw the error message that I ran into I know what the error messages are. Send me the error message. But I have to know what the error message. You can't just say it doesn't work, because that doesn't work for me. I can't go anywhere with that. Take screenshots of the error message if you can. Take screenshots, send them as attachments to me. Again, screenshots. Here you go. Screenshots again. This should be a really fun assignment. I tried to pick something that would be a lot of fun for you, and it's a really cool assignment, and this is something that you might be able to use in the future. If you have an application that needs to be installed on Windows and you only have a Mac, then you now have a way to install software on Windows when you only have a Mac, and vice versa. If you have Windows and say you have software that maybe needs to be installed on Linux or would run better on Linux or needs to be installed on a Mac, it's a little more difficult to install the Mac OS, but either way, you have a versatility now. If you want to install a virtual machine and just create something, there are ways to copy a virtual machine and then destroy that copy. I can show you, that's real quick. I can show you how to do that if this is actually working. So let me check this real quick. Let me check that download. Nope, the download's not there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. And then when that completes, when that download completes, I'll update this. I'll add another video real quick, which shows you Kali Linux and shows you how to add a text document within Kali Linux. Again, start early. If you have questions, contact me during office hours, schedule an appointment to meet with me. I'm going to make this one due on Saturday night so that you can schedule a one-on-one with me on Saturday if you need to. Second chance quiz. Contact me if you didn't get a chance to take the quiz and you need to take the quiz. Contact me, because I have a few people that still need to do that, so that we can I can figure out a time that works best for everybody. Send me several times that will work for you. I'll try to schedule that. Again, I would like to schedule that on a Friday. Let me know what times on, say, Friday that would work for you. If not Friday, then Saturday. Okie doke. I hope you guys have a great week. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. And President's Day. Was it President's Day? Anyway, I hope you guys had a great long weekend, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you again soon so that I can show you how this installation works and how to do a text document. You guys have a wonderful week. I will see you soon.